We are so excited to have on today's guest. She's been on fire lately, and it seems like that's not going to stop anytime soon. Her 2015 ended with winning the Chikara Grand Championship, and her 2016 is starting off with a spot on the Global Force Wrestling roster. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Miss Kimber Lee.
Hello. How are you guys?
Great. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well.
Awesome. Now, we're very glad to hear that you're going to be a part of Global Force Wrestling's first Northeast tour. How does it feel to have been handpicked by the legendary Jeff Jarrett to take part in this unbelievable show?
It's an amazing feeling. I got to do a couple of the stadium shows last year for Global Force, and I'm happy to be back, and this time with a title shot, so it should be good.
Yeah, now you're obviously a mainstay here in the Northeast. Do you feel that you'll have a hometown advantage coming from into your huge lineup or matchup on the 22nd?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch all of that?
Yeah, so you're a mainstay here in the Northeast. Do you feel that you'll have the hometown advantage coming into your huge matchup on the 22nd?
I definitely think it'll help just because we're at my home. I'm all over the East Coast. But it's not just my hometown. Mickie James isn't from very far either, and she is also in the match. So I think we both have our work cut out for us.
Absolutely. Now, as you mentioned, on the 22nd at Mid-Hudson Civic Center, you will be going against the Global Force Wrestling Women's Champ, Christina von Eerie, and the future Hall of Famer, Mickie James. Have you squared off against both of these before?
I have actually squared up with both of them at different times. It's been a while since I've wrestled Christina von Eerie, but I'm excited for another opportunity too. I know it'll be tough competition, and Mickie James I wrestled last month was the last time, and so I know kind of both of my opponents going into it, and I'm excited to see what we do. It being a three-way dance, it's a different dynamic.
Yeah. Now, you also are gonna wrestle Mickie James. I think it's on Pro Wrestling Day, February 6th.
National Pro Wrestling Day.
Yes. Now, is it helpful for you that you've wrestled her before, or do you think it's even more difficult because now you do know what to expect?
I think it kind of goes both ways. It makes it easier because we already know, I already know her moves. I know what to expect coming into it. I know what to avoid and what kicks and that DDT that could show up at any time. But it's also a disadvantage because just as much as I know, she already knows what I do too. So she knows what to avoid and how to counter. So it kind of goes both ways.
Okay, all right. Now, it seems like once a show, at least for us, we're talking about women's wrestling. Do you think that women's wrestling will continue to get the attention that it did in 2015, like this year?
I think it'll start to get even more attention. I feel like women's wrestling is on the rise, and it can only go up from here, and people are really demanding it to be more of something that's looked at as equal as the men's wrestling is.
All right. Now, you debuted in 2011. How do you feel that the wrestling business has changed for you personally since your debut?
I mean, especially for me, I do a lot of intergender wrestling, and it, as I've continued, become more and more part of my repertoire in wrestling, and I think that's the coolest thing for me is being looked at more and more like an equal competitor, especially with winning the Grand Championship for Chikara. It's crazy because when I first started training, all I said was I want to be looked at as an equal. I want to be looked at as another wrestler. I don't want to be looked at as another female wrestler per se. And I'm getting to do that, and it's great.
Awesome. Now, you've wrestled for a ton of different promotions since coming on the scene. What are some of your favorite promotions that you've gotten the chance to work with so far?
I definitely love working for Beyond Wrestling. That's probably one of my favorites. It's just a great locker room, a great fan base. I love Shimmer. I love Shine. Chikara. Chikara has definitely taken over my heart in the last year. It's so much fun, and I get to connect with little kids in a way that I couldn't in any of my other promotions, and just being able to do something that's super fun for little kids, but adults can also have fun at it too, and being able to do that and put a positive light into professional wrestling rather than some of the negative connotations it can have.
Absolutely. Now, professional wrestling, as you kind of alluded to there, it's very fan-driven, more so than any other sport. With that being said, what do you think that fans can do to show their continued support for women's wrestling?
Just continue to watch the shows, buy the DVDs, come out live shows when you're nearby, and make your voice heard that you enjoy seeing women wrestle and get the time that they deserve to show what we can do.
Awesome. Now, last year, we saw a video of you that probably went viral quicker than any other professional wrestling video to date. This is the video of the wrestler Chris Dickinson Pazuzu bombing you at a Beyond Wrestling show. Why do you think people got so involved with this specific video?
Well, I think it was just because of how vicious everything looked in that video, with between the chair shot and the big Pazuzu bomb in the corner. And I think a big part of it is Chris Dickinson is a really big male wrestler who did this to a female, and that's something that people are still having a hard time accepting, and so I think that also brought it to go viral as fast as it did. I feel like if it would have been either two men in the ring doing it or two women, I don't think it would have gotten the same attention at all.
Okay, now, obviously the reactions to that video were polarizing, to say the least. What were some of the most surprising comments that you received because of this video?
Just a lot of people really upset and angry and thinking that I should have been more protected and that I shouldn't have done that in the first place, or I shouldn't have never stepped into a ring with Chris Dickinson, but I don't look at it that way at all because I don't consider myself any different. With any opponent, male, female, 6'5", 5'6", it doesn't matter. I just want to be looked at as the same, and like I said before, thank you for always your concern, but no thanks, because I can handle it, and I wanted to be in that match. I made it a no DQ, and so I knew what I was getting myself into.
Awesome. Well, we talked a little bit about earlier, but intergender wrestling has made a resurgence in the world of wrestling. We see, Joey Ryan and Candice LeRae. You are a big proponent of intergender wrestling. Do you think that they have a place in professional wrestling?
I definitely think it does. It's one of those things that you have to push the envelope to change things, and some people aren't going to accept it right away, and there's always controversy with change. But I feel like there's a big push right now, and people are starting to realize that the girls shouldn't be looked at any different. Like you said, Candice LeRae, there's also Heidi Lovelace, and there's just a core group of us who are really making it known that we can do this and we can do it just as well as the boys.
And one of the worst things about this is that people have kind of said that your involvement with these types of matches may actually be hurting or outing professional wrestling in some kind of way. Do you think that that's true at all, or do you think that you're doing more for wrestling by doing these matches?
I'm actually going to quote Joey Ryan for this one. He said something along the lines of, males have no problem, or fans or anybody in general have no problem accepting the fact that a wrestler is getting thrown at the ropes and flung back into the middle of the ring, but wrestling a girl, that would make no sense. So if you really look at some of the things that happen in wrestling, it really is kind of silly that some people think that just because a woman is wrestling a man that it's outing the business or anything like that. Because even though I'm a girl, if I hit you in the right spot, I can knock you out in one punch. It's just a matter of how you approach it. I can't approach a match against a guy as I can against a girl. I have to know that I need to avoid certain shots because if I get hit, I'm going to go down, and vice versa. It's all about knowing where to hit.
Okay, now I'm going to read you a quote from your Rolling Stone article from last year. You said, "All I ever wanted to do was make a change and make a difference. I wanted to show that women are just as tough as men." Well, obviously, you're well on your way to doing this after winning the Chikara Grand Championship in 2015. What other steps do you think you can take to ensure that people see women as equals in this typically male-dominated sport?
Just defending my championship for the year as long as I can. That'll definitely show. Because if I can continue to hold it and defend it, that proves that I've earned it and deserve to have it. And just continuing to do what I've been doing and get more and more support.
Awesome. Now, after winning that championship, how were you received by not only fans, but your peers and wrestlers?
It was a lot of positive feedback. I really didn't get any negatives at all, just lots of people congratulating me, fans that were so happy. I had women fans telling me they just burst into tears in the audience, and, that's such a great feeling. That's all I ever wanted to do is prove to these women that there's no reason we can't be looked at as the same, and it's a great feeling to know that I'm accomplishing that in some way.
Awesome. Well, talking about accomplishing goals and all of that, what is the biggest goal you hope to accomplish in the world of professional wrestling?
Like I said, if I make a difference and I make an impact on this business and people remember me for that, I've done everything I want to do. I would love to get to one of the main stages and be on TV and be able to show what I can do from that platform too. It's a big goal of mine, but I want to go to keep doing what I'm doing and keep making changes and making headway for the quote-unquote Divas Revolution.
Absolutely. Now, you are a very busy lady. We are going to get ready to end this interview, but we like to do it on a fun note. It's our lightning round. A lot of shows do this, but these are just going to be some rapid-fire questions. So whatever you feel like saying, let us know. But the wrestler that you are most influenced by?
Oh, Sarah Del Rey.
Okay. Person that you have yet to wrestle that you want to wrestle against?
Cheerleader Melissa.
All right. You are Princess Kimber Lee, so what is your favorite princess of all time?
Cinderella.
When you aren't wrestling, what is your favorite thing to do?
I really enjoy running a lot.
Okay. Do you have any hidden talents?
I'm classically trained in ballet for 26 plus years of my life. So.
Wow. Okay. Favorite movie of all time?
Oh, that's a hard one. Just one?
Well, you can throw a couple out if you'd like.
All right. I like movies that have a twist that I can't pick up on. So I like Fight Club, The Usual Suspects, Fallen, stuff like that.
Okay, awesome. Now, lastly, there have only been 3 women to have competed in a WWE Royal Rumble. So, with that being said, are you a surprise entrant in this year's Royal Rumble?
That would ruin the surprise if I told you.
Absolutely. Well, we cannot wait to see you live in Poughkeepsie, New York at the historic Mid-Hudson Civic Center for Global Force Wrestling. We wish you nothing but the best in your future, and thank you so much for coming on today.
Thanks for having me.